Level 60, East meets West. Jennicard has something to say, and that glint behind his monocle suggested is important. Top of the morning to you. Or is it the evening? It is so hard to tell locked up in here in the Athenaeum all day and night. Alright, technically speaking, I can leave at any time of my choosing, but it is as if some strange force prevents me from stepping forth into the light. But enough of that. You are here to learn what became of your humble companions while you were off saving the realm. Well, since Ishgard's quite abrupt change in leadership, the Vault has become somewhat more receptive to the contemporary ideas of Lady Leave, Master Ruffin. They have even asked our compatriot in disguise to hold for them another symposium on Charlian astrology, and this time within the city-state proper, and not at some forsaken hamlet. Nothing against the fine citizenry of Falcon's Nest, mind you. In fact, the good Ruffin has foreseen your arrival in the stars and awaits you in Observatorium. The look on your face tells me you are less than convinced. Still the skeptic after all we have been through together, eh? Allow me to recreate this morning's reading. In the center of the Dawn Cross we have the spear. To its left the inverted arrow. To its right the inverted balance. Beneath we have the inverted spire and the inverted bowl. And finally at the crown it's the ever. Well, do you not see it? It is as plain as the stench of day-old piss in the broom on the balmy summer's eve. Though peace hath settled upon our great land, it will be along the path of coming destruction that friends new and old shall discover the bush that doth bear the fruit of knowledge and hope, and to think that it was you who attuned to all six heavens. In other words, she who brought peace to Ishgard, that would be you, will walk through the road south to the Observatorium, where, I don't know, you shall read some books with Lady Laviva to discover a new spell for delivering excruciating pain to your enemies and their families. It all sounded more convincing when she explained it to me this morning over that bottle of wine, or was it 2 bottles? At any rate, I would suggest you make haste. You know how our little protege does not take kindly to those who make her wait. It's good seeing you again, Zilly, and something tells me you will be back again soon. Wink. I think that's in Central, yeah. Perithus. Maybe we should just teleport to Mordona, that'd be quicker. Healers. We'll get all our healers done today, and we may do a tank next. If there's time. Still quite early. They're going far quicker than some of the other ones have. And I think we can go finish Pago, so we wouldn't be finished. Because we'd still need, like, all of the stuff we need for the weapon. That's not where I was going. What the hell was I doing? That's what doing relics. That's from doing ARR relics. That's my muscle memory coming. Mordona was my home point, and you have to go to the North Shroud quite often. So it's like, and you can't spend any money because I was on free trial. Now he's gonna be like way in the top, huh? No, she's outside. Okay, that's good. Laviva. Friend and fellow Astrologian, it is so good to see you again. What has it been? 2, 3? Let us just say that it has been too long. Did Jonacard speak to you of my reading? Well, then there is hope for that well-dressed dullard yet. Though I have learned the key to success is not entrusting him with more than one task at a time and making certain that task does not require much in the way of thinking or acting, for that matter. As for the reading, I believe it instructs as to our next step in spreading the knowledge of Master Ruffin, an injured traveler, has arrived at our gates seeking succor. An ill omen. With me, Zilly. Please, I can walk no further. Stars were kind in guiding you to this place. Astrologians here have ways of easing one's hurts. Astrologians, I have no need of prophecy or prognostication. Or I could stay my tongue and allow you to tend to my wounds. My apologies. May you have a quick recovery, for in time you will come to believe the power the stars wield. Lady Liv, Master Rufin, Zilly's felicitous return inspires me to step out for a breath of fresh air, and behold, already does it appear new adventure is upon us. Ah, and here I was thinking you made the journey south to lend your talents in preparing for the forthcoming symposium. Master Rufin, or was it Lady Liveva? If I may, allow me to give you my thanks and my apologies for earlier. I have a tendency to allow your unbridled emotions to get the best of you. That was amazing. You knew what I was going to say before I even said it, but where are my manners? I am Kyokuho of Hingashi, and I have braved storm and sea to learn of the many wonders it is said are to be found in this magnificent realm. But you already knew that, didn't you? No, I did not. Now, if you would excuse me, I must get back to matters which are important. Important matters, such as astrological matters? Could you show me? I wouldn't be a burden. I'd stand in the corner, in the shadows, behind a curtain. While I appreciate the somewhat forced enthusiasm, I'm afraid that it won't be Oh, I was merely hoping that we might be able to share insight into each other's fields. Each other's fields? You wouldn't happen to be a geomancer, would you? A geomancer? The so-called Masters of Wind and Water. My grandfather had a tome written on the far eastern art of elemental and directional divination, though much of it seemed little more than folklore. Lady Laviva, did not the morning's reading mention friends new and old? What if Zilly were the friend old, and this peculiar little man the friend anew? The spear pointing west, the balancing point east, the arrow pointing in all directions, and none. It might just mean Kyokuho. Though it pains me so to admit as much, it appears your arrival has been foretold. Perhaps there is much I can learn from you, nay, that we can learn from each other. Aha, oh, but there is. Soon you will learn the push and pull of the elements brings together those who require companionship most. Yes, the elements. We will have to discuss that further at another juncture. For the time being, I am placing you in the care of my first and foremost pupil, Zilly. An excellent proposal, or as I believe the Hingan say, Keikaku. I dabbled a bit in the language when I was younger, but for the life of me, that ebon-haired emissary would not afford me even a sidelong glance. Then might I hazard that there is no finer place to begin unlocking the secrets of the stars than under the bowl near Roots Lake. I shall even lead good Kyoko to the South Shroud myself. If agrees to do the rest. Okay, that's a lot. It's gonna be a verbose one again, isn't it? After you, then. Next we meet, Kyoko. You have opened the first gate and better understand the influence the stars hold all over us. Over us all. Over all of us. Yeah, we'll get it eventually. We're on our third one. We've done a lot of reading. Back to Camp Tranquil. Yeah. All the healers end up at Camp Tranquil at some point, right? There you are. I was beginning to wonder if you hadn't been eaten by the hoverflies on your way over here. But I jest. Janakard tells me that you are quite the authority on all things relating to the bowl. So enlighten me, O Honorable Sensei. I am, as you Westerners say, all eyes. Or was it ears? What will you explain? The bowl's origin or the bowl's blessing? Let's start with the origin. The Orzians believe it is from this tree planted by your gods in the very heavens that all life was born. Fascinating. So this is your bowl. In the Far East, we know of the constellation as something different, but know it all the same. I must admit, however, that seeing it under a different sky than my own fills my heart with a sense of both wonderment and now confusion, knowing what it represents to your people. What I cannot wrap my head around is that you would truly believe a notion so foolish as the power of Earth, a word that by your own definition means soil, would not come from the land itself, but rather from 6 tiny lights flickering in the night skies. We students of geomancy believe that such power naturally lies beneath our feet, ever flowing through creation as blood does through our veins. Yet despite the differences in our thinking, the similarities are encouraging. All trees are born of the earth, and their protection is universal. The most thought-provoking opinion that I am certain Lady Leviva will be delighted to hear, though might I suggest you withhold the part about being unable to wrap your head around our foolish notions, unless you enjoy having a steel-toed boot wedged firmly twixt your bollocks. Shall we be going then? By this hour, Lady Leviva will have already made the journey back to the Athenaeum. Oh, it's in Ishgard. Oh, we're going to Ishgard? I was about to head back to the observatorium. This is quicker anyways. This is what we do. Just hanging out outside. Thanks for taking the Hengen off my hands, and not because I think our visitor is an annoying little braggart with all manners of kobold foundling, which I still do, but because I needed the time to finish my work without distraction. She'll tell me, what did I miss? See, perhaps I judged Gyoko too hastily. I still have my reservations, but I shall afford him the benefit of the doubt, for now. The teachings of geomancy may be grounded in fairy tales and falsehoods, but my grandfather told me that every lie is born of the truth. If I can find the truth within his backwards beliefs, it may provide insight into our own school of thought. I see now that my choice to assign you as his tutor was a wise decision. Might I ask this of you, Zilly? I promise that once the symposium has ended, I shall assume the duties of Gyo's tutelage. I sense good fortune in our stars, my friend. Good fortune indeed. I'm just not pronouncing all that stuff every time. Level 60, East meets West, complete. Next Astrologian quest will be available from Leviva upon reaching level 63. Level 63, Ride Like the Wind. Lady Leviva has something to ask of her favorite pupil. I see you received my summons. You didn't receive my summons. 12 damn that Janakar to the 7th hell and back. He's going to... Forgive me, there shall be sufficient time for condemnation of his soul after 11th bell tarts. For now I must speak to you of Kyo's training. Despite appearances and attitude and manners and courting habits, our traveler from the Far East has proven quite motivated in his study of our ways. In fact, while you were off doing whatever it is you do, he successfully opened the next 4 gates of heaven. Good, that saves me a lot of quests. Anyway, preparations for the symposium have left me with little time to pick the boy's mind, but I have nevertheless managed to fully grasp the primitive concept of geomancy. In fact, I plan on incorporating several of their ideas as anecdotes into my presentation. It is what my father would have wanted. Now, as to why I've called you here, Gyo is very close to attuning to the final heaven, the spear, and I think it only fitting that his instructor be there to accompany him during his finest moment. Because I am obviously too occupied at the moment, I thought perhaps you could join him in my stead. Then it is settled. You shall guide young Gyo to his final steps to glory and enlightenment, just as I did to you those many moons ago. Follow me outside and let us bring our friend the good tidings together. Good news, everyone. That is odd. I could have sworn he was right here but a moment ago. Fleury, have you seen Kyo? Fleury, are you even listening to me? It is our Hengen novitiate you seek. He hurried out of Athenaeum's side entrance not 5 heartbeats past. He was quite animated, even more than usual. A veritable one-man mummer's tragedy, all full of jumping and flailing and pumping of fists. What could have unsettled the boy so? I suppose it might have been that letter I handed him. It was delivered just this morning. Kyo skimmed over it quickly, asked me several cursory questions about the heaven of ice, to which I gave several cursory answers, and then was gone. And you did not try to stop him? Excuse me. Why would I? He was leaving. But if my intuition is correct, and usually it is, something in that missive has led Kyo to believe that he does not have much time left in Eorzea and has so set forth out for the Steel Vigil that might open the final gate and complete his training before he departs our realm. Zilly, it looks as if our plan is already set in motion to the Central Highlands. That's the Stone Vigil. That's the Dusk Vigil. They have a lot of vigils. Might go quicker if I just single them down. Yeah. Not enough right there? Or is it just too much shadow from the sun? Silly, this is the second time you have saved me from my folly. Well, technically speaking, it is the first. You were merely standing around as Lady Laviva healed my wounds last time. Right, I'll stop there. I know it makes little sense to leave without saying anything, despite the fact you, Lady Laviva, and Ginnicard were all but mere yawns from where I was stood, but some stories are already told, and who are we to struggle against the ebb and flow that carry us ever towards the fates? Alright, that was a poor excuse. The truth is, I have been summoned back to my homeland and was too ashamed to face those who had shown me so much support. So I thought to come here, open the gate to the final heaven, and then take the next trading galley out of Ul'dah before any of you realized I was gone. As you can see, things did not unfold as planned, but since you are here, perhaps we could have one last lesson for old time's sake? The spear's origins, the spear's blessing. Do the origins. I don't guess it matters which one, right? Palace of ice set ablaze with the light of the moon, and you say it was carved by a single spear. Remarkable. It is as if more I learn of your stars, the less I know. To think this may be the last I ever see of your heavens. I'm beginning to understand why your people treasure them so. With the opening of the sixth, I have prepared my mind and soul for the seventh, the final gate that leads to true dominion over the elements, or so Lady Laviva insists. Didn't he still need to do the fifth? Our conversations have been eye-opening, to say the least. She theorizes that our two schools may actually be one and the same, whereas astrologians look to the stars above to read their fates. We geomancers look to the star below and listen to its songs and draw answers from its whispers. While I am certain my masters back in Hingashi would cringe upon hearing that a Westerner of not 20 summers believes she has grasped 1,000 generations of teaching, I am more willing to indulge her eccentricities now that I know she means no ill will. I only wish that we would have had more time to possibly see if there was some way we could have combined our knowledge to create something new, something the world has never before seen. And with that, I bid you, Lady Laviva, Kemper, and Muganel, soft-skinned Fluro, sweet-lipped her, and all that tall chap on the second floor always mumbling about some star's magnitude, even Janikard, the fondest of farewells. I have a long journey ahead of me, and if I do not leave now, I fear I will never be able to. It might just be too far up. Are we? Where's teleport? Yep. Plenty of money and tickets. I had 10 million yesterday. That's nice. Yeah, I think it just needs to be brighter. We'll adjust it after we're done with our job quest. You are back, but I do not see Kyo. Is he out fawning over Fleury again? Back to Ngashi. I cannot say this was unexpected. The deck of 60 told me as much this morning. That, and I asked Jennicard what was written in the letter. But you thought him above reading another's correspondence? You give him far too much credit where none is due. Kyo is not a child. He knew what coming to Eorzea would entail, and he knew that he would one day need to return to his homeland. And while we may not have always agreed, alright, almost never agreed, I did come to respect the man and his steely resolve. Allow him his space. If the stars deem it fitting, then he will be back, or perhaps next it will be our turn for a journey over storm and sea. He's gone, and without saying goodbye, I cannot believe it. I will not believe it. Oh, what I would not give to have but one last moment with my brother, my soulmate, my... Lady Lviva told you I read his letter? Oh, well then, yes, it will pain me to tell the other novitiates that Gyo has returned to his native lands far away on the other side of the world. I may even need to personally comfort those most stricken with grief by his sudden and tragic departure. But truth be told, I'm going to miss having the Hengen around. He certainly did liven up the place. Godspeed, Gyo. May your return journey leave you miserable and wet, but see you safely home. Level 63, Ride Like the Wind. Complete. Maybe if I just turn it up some. I just have to move it down. Point it down. Right. I just don't think it matters as much with the... Yeah, I'm just gonna need more of them, that's all. Get back up here. Got too much sunshine coming in, but I don't feel like closing the window. Level 65, come rain or shine. Jan appears ill. Could it be he is recovering from another long evening at the Forgotten Night, or is it something else disturbing the Viscount? While your visit fills my heart with joy, Zilly, I cannot bring myself to smile knowing that Lady Lviva is troubled so. So she should be spending these final days before the symposium placing the final touches on her address to the vault. She instead spends her time wandering about the pillars in a daze, mumbling to herself about earth, wind, and water. Oh, well, earth, wind, and fire I'm a bigger fan of. Fear that Kyo's departure has left a gap in Lady Lviva's heart that she knows not how to fill. I have tried at length to set her mind at ease, but one need not be a reader of stars to guess how well that ended. Perhaps if you spoke with her, she would finally listen to reason. And the pillars, huh? I see it. No, yeah. It would take the long way. Come on. What do I owe the honor? No, let me guess. Our good friend Jean asked you to talk some sense into poor addled Addlepated Leviva. Oh, and oh, goody, today I have the privilege of being lectured by both of you. Lady Leviva and Zilly, imagine finding you two out here this fair day. Enough with the theatrics, Jean. I know your play here, and as I have told you time and again, I have not forgotten my duty to the Athenaeum or my obligations to the Symposium. I simply need time to think, alone. To which I keep replying, why think alone when you have one of the greatest minds in the realm at your disposal? And Zilly. The greatest minds, eh? Riddle me this, why are the results of my readings from that day both Zilly and Kyo arrived still weighing on my mind? Why does it feel as if I am missing, or rather misinterpreting, some devilishly important detail? Peace comes, friends are made, dangerous paths are trodden, knowledge is gained. Did that not already occur? Kyo and Zilly both arrive as the Dragon Song war ends. Zilly saves Kyo from a death at the Steel Vigil, and knowledge of geomancy is shared with the Athenaeum. Yes, but what if the coming destruction told by the inverted spire was not the incident at the Citadel, but something else, something far more grave? Then that would mean the prophecy's fruit of knowledge and hope was not Kyo's stories of his art, but something different, something we will not only see by continuing on this perilous path. But is it truly the path that is disastrous, or a decision to pursue it? What is your interpretation of the cards? At the end of the path of disaster is hope. To seek hope would be disastrous. Big promotion is just around the corner. Exactly what I was thinking. Only through the avoidance of some unforeseen peril will hope and knowledge be acquired. I believe the disaster in question has something to do with Kyo's return home, if not the return itself. It could also mean that our friend is in danger. I see where you're going with this, and while I loved our red-robed ruckus rouser as much as anyone, except Fleury, perhaps, a journey at this time would mean the cancellation of our symposium, without any chance of the Holy See ever taking us seriously. And now you can see why I've been up here all day and night biting my nails to the quick. I apologize, a lack of sleep can work ill on one's humors, but I think your intervention here today may have provided me a solution to our predicament. A solution that I am now kicking myself for not having come to earlier. A solution I myself proposed not days ago when deciding how I might attend Kyo's opening of the 6th Heaven. Billy, will you travel to Hingashi? Reading did only mention friends of old and friends new. I recall nothing in there about silver-haired astrologians from Charlian. But how do you propose Zilly find our charge? The Far East is a big place. Perhaps we could write a letter? Yes, and address it to Kyoko Ho Hingashi. No, you dullard. We have something far better. We have the stars and undying faith that they will guide us to that which we seek. Or Zilly could start her search in Kugane, the port city from which Kyo claimed he came, focusing on locations which serve as exceptional venues for stargazing, a pastime our friend warmed to during his stay with us. Or Zilly could. No, wait, that is actually a decent proposal. Zilly, you have your quest. May the stars guide you true. Oh, and I will expect reports, many reports. John, let us return to the prepper. Alright, maybe after a few bells rest first. Yes, it's verbose. Like the Black Mage ones. Lots of talking. All the talking and talking. I think my lighting got worse. Just so much shadow from the sun, that's all. Okay, what are we looking at? Right here. Yeah. Just run to this one. Oh, it says it's below, so I don't know which side it's going to be on. We see which side it's going to be on. There it is. When I wish to walk under the stars, I go with my promise to the Tasugari Bridge spanning yon pier. The melting of crimson into indigo is a sight you will not soon forget. If it is the stars you seek, then you need only look up. Ha ha ha, but if it is a fool you seek, one who calls himself a master of wind and water, when in fact he is nothing more than a cheat, a liar, and a disgrace to our noble profession, then perhaps you might find the rat where all rats hide, near the piers. Wizened elder. Wizened. Wizened. Either is appropriate. Kugane is packed like a warehouse with multi-storied hostels and tea houses, so the cobbles will never afford a man a decent view of the skies. No, if you want to see the heavens in all their glory, you must make your way up. Take this bridge behind me. There, atop that mighty span, the stars await. Faces directly west of Kugane Castle, out towards the Ruby Tide and Althard beyond. This setter location was determined by a great geomancer who told the first Bugyo placing it there would ensure the city's prosperity for generations to come. Okay. Oh, I gotta go upstairs. Okay. Oh yeah, that's Hildebrand. We gotta do that still, too. We'll do that later. Another time. Probably when we start the patch content. Or right before. I see someone has taken my spot. I may just have to slit her throat and toss her body to the tide. Ha ha ha, I'm pulling your arm, Zilly, or was it ear? You Westerners have such odd sayings. What brings you so far from home? Path fraught with disaster, misfortune, impending doom? Ha ha ha. Yes, well, the situation may not be as encouraging as my jovial demeanor suggests. It all began several decades ago when the Bakafu decided they were opening the port to foreign trade vessels. To accommodate the influx of ships, a section of ancient coastline forest was cleared. However, doing so angered the entity who had guarded the wood for countless generations, a golden fox named Kinko. Great battle ensued, but claws and fangs were no match for cold steel. Kinko was slain and the new port completed. The fox's spirit, however, remained spoiling our milk, withering our crops, causing storms that dashed ship after ship against our rocky cliffs. In desperation, the Bakufu turned to the land's most powerful geomancer, my great-grandfather Kazan. Kazan used the power of the sea, the skies, the land to soothe the spirit, long enough that he could erect an invisible barrier that not only protected the city, but ensured that it would prosper. Once the fortunes of Kugane citizen returned, my great-grandfather was hailed as a hero and geomancy as the savior of our nation. Within a matter of moons, the streets were lined with stalls and tents of would-be seers, people practically throwing coin at them for their advice and blessings. These pretenders, these charlatans, were not interested in the sacred rites passed down to my great-grandfather and his great-grandfather and his great-grandfather before him. They were not interested in maintaining the barrier that preserved Kugane's luster and drove back the powers that would see it fall. No, they were more interested in lining their pockets. And now the bonds that hold the barrier in place are about to break, and there is none left with the knowledge to mend them, the knowledge that died with the passing of my grandfather. And so I set out to convince the geomancers of Kugane that only united would we discover the means to save our fair city, that only united would we stave off the darkness and bring lasting prosperity, one and all. That only united would my great-grandfather's legacy live on. Alas, I failed, branded a deceiver by those very men and women who had grown fat on deceit, unable to mend the bonds myself nor rouse my peers to action. I stood on this very bridge and thought on an answer, and then I saw it in the setting sun. My answer lay in the west. So I packed my bags and headed to Orzia, in search of something, anything that might help me save Kugane. I believed that something astrology, but before I could be certain, I was summoned home. This you already know. Since then, I have been coming here every night, hoping the stars might provide me with another revelation, but they remain silent. The heavens speak through you. Tell me, what do they say? Solve your own problems. Use astrology to restore the barrier. Use geomancy to mend the barrier. Use astrology. We're doing the Astrologian job quest. That's brilliant. I don't know why I didn't think of it. If there was one thing I learned while in Ishgard, it was that Western astrology is in many ways a complement to geomancy. Used together, they might just work. After all, you need only use your aspected benefic and you can mend any injury. Is that not so? No, really, I'm genuinely asking. The lesson explaining the finer details of the star's power and how to harness it was conveniently scheduled for the day after I returned home. But you know it all. Tell me you can help repair the barrier. Haha, I did it, great-grandfather. I found a way to make things right. Well then, we have no time to lose. My great-grandfather created his barrier by anchoring the energies of wind, water, and earth to 4 shrines located at the north, east, south, and west ends of the city. It is there the bonds must be repaired. We shall begin with nearby westerly shrine on the short pier. Good lord, there's a lot of talking in this one. It's like the Black Mage quest. Had I known, I probably would have done a different one. Well, we'd do it eventually, but like my throat's still rough. This is one of the shrines of which I spoke. It may not look like it much, but if it were to be destroyed, the entire city would be overrun with large testicled raccoon dogs and flying rainbow cats, or possibly just angry spirits. My plan is simple. If I am correct, aspected benefit will intertwine with the barrier's geomantic energies, mending it as easily as it does flesh. We shall wait until nightfall to perform the rite, for the last thing we need is a drunken Ronin breaking your concentration. Duty calls. Commence battle for come rain or shine. If you are above the maximum allowed level, it will be synced as follows. Proceed. Level 67. I don't remember which is which. I haven't played in a while. I've been using Astro and yeah, okay. That's not what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to interact with it first. Magic's intertwined like two halves of a whole. I'm supposed to keep doing it? Okay. Following you, Kyo. I have a feeling we'll have to fight some stuff, right? Otherwise, we wouldn't have to come into an instance. Let me in now. Let me in. So we gotta run around the whole city, I'm sure. Oh, I gotta attune to it first. Okay. And no drive-by aspected benefit. I guess we have to instance for because we're in town, so you can't just pop enemies out, right? Like a lot of like the rogue and ninja quests make you do that. Says he's gonna complete it. Okay. Making progress, slowly. Evil spirits. It appears I spoke too soon. Okay. Use some Helios real quick. I'm gonna have to kill all of these. Excuse me. Okay, Q, where are we going? More of them, okay. We go up. Lead the way. And like an escort mission. Gotta keep them close, it says. Come on. Got 2 more of these to do. And then we'll heal it. I assume if he dies, we lose. They're not aggroing to me. So I gotta be careful that I don't die. Wasn't paying attention to my health there for a second. There's not any others I could kill while I'm waiting on him. Yeah, okay. Yeah, they pop up afterwards, of course they do. Part of the cards. Where are we going, George? That's where the enemies are, so I assume that way. We don't want to do all this and then him die and I have to do it again, so I'm gonna keep healing him. Gravity. There it is, I seize it. Sure nothing like spawn behind him and come chasing him. That would be great. Way away, foul denizens of the dark. Fury of the Golden Fox. Do, 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 do. Ah, we did it. We repaired my great-grandfather's barrier and thwarted the Golden Fox. Fine display, fine indeed. Though if it were I might have used gravity instead of malefic when the foul creature had... Ah, right. I'll just be staying that tongue of mine again. Yo, I was told there were spirits in the streets. You arrived just as they are vanquished. How fortunate. Yes, Master Murakumo. Bonds are mended, made whole with Western magics and a little shoulder grease. Or was it knuckle grease, silly? Western magics? Then this Aegean lady is? None other. And wait until you see the reinforced bonds. The energies twist together with ours, like sun and moon, like darkness and light. They are as one, Master. Then I was right to summon you home. Pardon my intrusion, traveler. I am Murakumo, second pupil of the great Kazan, and instructor to young Kyoko. But with Kugane safe, I can now return to Ishgard to complete my training as an astrologian. Huzzah! Absolutely not. While you have mended the weakened bonds for now, their ephemerality remains. I was going to get it eventually. Unless you expect your friend here to remain in Kugane for the remainder of her life, we will need to find a more permanent solution. In other words, the bonds must be laid anew. But you know as well as I, the secret to laying those bonds died with my grandfather. Not a day goes by that I do not suffer the burden of my ineptitude. Had I shown promise in the art as your grandfather did, perhaps Kazan would have entrusted me with the knowledge as well. But he did not. Now they are both gone. We can lament that which we cannot change. We can put aside our past failures and seek the path which leads us forward. My master is right. Perhaps there is something in my grandfather's tomes, or perhaps I may still find a way to win over the other geomancers to our cause. There is always hope, is there not? If anything, you've given us time to search for an answer, and for that I am grateful. The city would be as well if they knew you had saved them from an army of angry wraiths looking to devour their souls and defecate their bones straight to the darkest of hells. In his haste to find a difficult answer, he looks past the simple one right before his eyes. It may take Kyoko time to realize it, but you are the hope which we seek. In time you will come to see it as well. Of course I am. I'm the hero of light. Okay, where the hell is he at? Where is he? Okay. Like way by the market. Of course, it's like on the other side of town. That's how it always is. I don't know how to get there. It's like the opposite direction of the pier. Probably would have been quicker to teleport. They could have just ended the quest there. Like, so I guess this is farewell, unless that is you're staying. You're staying? She's staying? Master, she's staying. What changed your mind? No, don't tell me. Knowing that you will be here with me and Master Murakumo is enough. I was beginning to worry that I would do the next time the city... I was beginning to worry what I would do the next time the city was invaded by Kinko's minions. The Master can barely make his way out of the privy each morning, let alone battle bloodlusting specters. Now that you mention it, this all reminds me of that reading Lady Leveva conducted this morning. The morning I arrived at the observatory. Something about friendly paths lined with dangerous fruit bushes winding their way to hope. Could the stars truly have predicted all this? If so, I'm impressed. I will need to think more on the issue. Until then, might I suggest you continue the refinement of your art here in scenic Hingashi. You'll find our beast just as formidable as yours in the west, if not doubly so. Level 65, come rain or shine, complete. Man, some of them are really verbose. Like, they just like to talk and talk and talk. The writers really enjoy writing some of these. Level 68, behind door number 2. Joe's giving you his best. Where have you been, young lady? I've been waiting for days, look. I have some good news and some bad news. The bad news is a 37th reading of my great-grandfather's tomes failed to reveal anything about the bonds that the previous 36 readings had not. The good news, if you can call it that, is that we did discover where Grandmaster Kazan conducted his training when he was a youth. How does this help us? Good question. I'm still not completely certain myself, but it is more than we had the last time you were here, and an ounce of hope is better than none at all. So what do you say, friend? Are you up for a journey across the Ruby Sea? Haha, I knew you couldn't turn me down. Still, the road ahead won't be easy. Yangzhe is large, and the scars of war run deep along the Jinsui chain. It may be that which may have helped has already been claimed by Flame. We'll have to place faith in our fortunes and hope they guide us true. I have decided we shall begin our search in Namai for the reason that, well, there is no reason, but you have to start somewhere, eh? I shall meet you there. Safe journeys. All you do is talk and talk and talk. Alright, go. The air is heavy with mist, and these shacks probably let in more rain than they keep out. Something like a tome wouldn't survive a single moon here, let alone the decade since my great-grandfather's training. Still, a few words with the village elders provided an interesting bit of information. Though it required some coaxing, several were able to recall memories of robed seers who resided in a nearby temple, a temple that was in use right up until Garlean invasion and subsequent banning of all religion. The building called the Swallow's Compass, while since abandoned, still remains in good repair. But listen to this. The locals avoided for fear of disturbing the spirits with which they believed the geomancers communed. Do you know what this means? There could still be something left inside. Come. Alright. Go to the gate. They like to talk. I'll lose my voice reading all of this stuff. Swallow's Compass, built during the rule of the first Doman King. I took the liberty to explore the grounds before you arrived and discovered this door. I know, it pales in comparison to that impressive gate behind us, compelling any normal thief or bandit to dismiss it outright. But then why erect a geomantic field to protect it? Since the flow of powerful energies here, whatever lies beyond this door, the geomancers wanted to keep it safe. In fact, there may even be traps, which is why only I should attempt the crossing of the threshold. I mean, who knows what terrible guardians have been summoned to protect the temple. Are you ready? Yes. Okay. Look, he's not doing anything. Not even a little bit of help, huh? You just keep breaking in, buddy, or whatever you're doing. I'll take care of this. Is it just following me? Well, that didn't hurt any. Let's assume it'd be like Twister. Guardian of the Red Gate. Okay, what now? There we go. Well, I guess we now... I guess now we know what terrible guardians were summoned to protect the temple. You'll also be happy to hear I was able to temporarily nullify the barrier, granting access into the chamber beyond. As there may be more traps, I ask that you wait out here to deal with them for me. Just kidding, I have already checked. There are no more traps. Probably. Assumed if there was more, it'd be an instance instead of just an, "Are you okay? Ready?" Fortune is with us. Zilly, the scrolls were intact, the barrier having protected them from both the elements and thieves. It took some searching, but I believe I was able to locate several that touch upon the laying of geomantic bonds. At least I think I was able to. The script on these scrolls is old and faded, not to mention written in a hand far beyond my comprehension. Luckily, Master Murakumo is almost as ancient as the tomes, should have little difficulty prizing out their secrets. Decanter is 6 of hot sake and he'll warm to the task. Ha. I'll see you back at Shiokaze Hostelry. I'll even save you a cup. I guess we're gonna have to fight the fox for the next one, huh? That would make sense. So is he upstairs? Yeah, okay. Here we go. Yo, the Westerner has joined us. Might I suggest you do the same? Oh, my apologies. You may want to sit down for this, or not. It doesn't matter. Nothing really matters, does it? Scrolls, they contain knowledge of the complete ritual. In fact, it was the very first one. Huh, just our luck, right? Wind, water, earth. Creation of the bonds calls for energies of all three. Though this much even a first-year novice of geomancy could tell you. No, what gave us pause was the mention of a fourth energy, an energy to render the seal permanent. Yo. Life. Don't you see, Zilly? They spilled living blood to complete the ritual. They damned a soul to an eternity without peace so that their magics would not fade. I now understand why Grandmaster Kazan left no notes on the rites. He did not wish this knowledge to fall into the wrong hands. Because he never performed the rites himself, the bonds anchoring the barrier around Kugane were never completed, and that is why they require constant attention. No blood was spilled to make them everlasting. My great-grandfather would not sacrifice even a single life to achieve his ends, and neither will I. That's enough, Kyo. There will be time to think on this with the morrow. Return to Kogane Dori and see if you can find some solace in sleep. I mean, they work partially, right? A couple of generations. And like, so even if you don't want to sacrifice somebody, like, a temporary one can just be temporary. Can I get any sleep out here? I failed just as did my great-grandfather, and my grandfather after him. We all knew the one means of creating a flawless barrier, and none of us could bring ourselves to do it. And lo, the bonds we fortified but several nights passed. Already have they begun to loosen and fray. They were weak for overlong, allowing Kinko to regain her strength, to mend her wounds, to feed her anger. And now there is naught we can do but watch as she gathers her minions for a final assault on the land she once ruled. Kugane does not stand a chance. Now would be a good time for us to stumble across that hope Lady Laviva's reading promised would be at the end of the road to destruction. 68 behind door number 2 complete. Okay, let's finish this. Level 70, Foxfire. Kyoko, who appears frantic, and Master Murakumo is nowhere to be found. He's gonna sacrifice himself. The old man's thinking of sacrificing himself, huh? Silly, thank the stars you are finally here. It's been almost 4 bells since Master Murakumo left on his daily inspection, out of the bonds. He most likely just stopped to warm his belly along the way, but I can't help wondering if it's something worse. Will you help me search for the old man? We can start at the closest shrine in Rakasui Gardens. No mounts in town. Well, any sign of him? Yeah. Hey, he's here under this sparkling thing. Where could he be? You don't suppose he tried anything foolish, do you? With the bonds as weak as they are, any manner of disturbance could rouse the golden fox, and the master is no longer of an age to defend himself. Defend himself against what? A maid could walk the streets naked and unattended carrying a gold-filled sack and not have so much as a finger laid upon her. Or are you spreading more lies about angry spirits to sow fear so that you might offer your protection in exchange for a Bugio's ransom? I've done no such thing. I've merely bid my fellow geomancers aid the city in its time of need. Not once have I asked compensation for what I seek. If anything, it is you who seek to prey on the citizenry's ignorance. Ah, so says the talentless hack who waves his great-grandfather's name around like he does his member. Your lies are growing stale, Kyo. Continue spouting them, and not only do you sully our craft, but the very legacy of Grandmaster Kazan. What would he say to this nonsense? Are you even listening to me? Why does no one listen to me? All I desire is to mend my great-grandfather's magics and save Kugane. I do not seek coin. Do not seek fame. Why is that so hard for you to grasp? God, we are wasting our time here, Zilla. Let us continue the search for Master Murakumo at the Westerly Shrine. Is that it? Yeah, okay. A little closer, at least. Excuse me. Here he is. I found him. Master Mura, are you hurt? The bond was nearly undone. I tried to, but Kinko, she's here. She's already through. We need to perform the blood ritual. It is the only way. No, I already told you. My great-grandfather spurned the spilling of innocent blood to complete the seal, and so have I. Besides, even if we were to conduct the ritual, there is no one to sacrifice. And I shall be the sacrifice, Kyo. For the many years since your grandfather passed, my sole purpose has been to find a means to mend Kazan's barrier. It would be the greatest honor knowing that with my death, I might not only save the city, but be granted the opportunity to watch over it. For eternity. No, I can't let you die, Master. Listen to what you were saying, Kyo. You cannot let me die. I want to do this. It is my decision to make and mine alone. Let not this selfishness in your heart distract you from what needs to be done. You're wrong, Master. There must be another way. There is always another way. There is always hope. Alright, Zilly, tell me, how do we save Kugane? What do you suggest? It's simple. Use astrology. It's simple. Sacrifice Master Murakumo. Yeah, it's simple. Let's just kill him. Like, why not? Hey, he wants to. Stop focusing on the bonds and look to the fox. What do you mean, Zilly? What she means? I'll tell you exactly what she means. Lady Laviva, your powers of observation never cease to amaze me, Kyo. It is me, in the flesh, fresh off a galley, put into port this very morn. The symposium was a rousing success. A vault quick to realize the benefits of my school's wisdom could bring when applied to the rebuilding of Ishgard. It was even decided that several new courses in Charlian astrology were to be taught at the Scholasticate starting next term. And so, with my father's dream fulfilled, I was finally free to pursue whatever I wished, and I wished to learn more of geomancy, so here I am, and not a moment too soon by the looks of it. In the few bells I spent exploring the city for leads as to your whereabouts, I learned much and more about our pretender and his Indisnai advocacy, so I began testing the bonds of this barrier myself. It did not take long to realize that it was Kyo who was speaking verily, and his detractors the true pretenders. So you'll help us mend the bonds? But how? Zilly and I have already tried using energies drawn from the heavens, and that only worked to delay the inevitable. The guardian spirit's strength has grown so great that the only thing that might hold her now is a new barrier anchored with bonds of lifeblood, but this I cannot allow. As always, Kyo, you had a hasty charge in a difficult to a difficult answer blinds you from the simple solution. You were right to harness the power of aspected benefit, but you failed to grasp its true potential to bring succor. For so long as you have focused on mending your great-grandfather's bonds, when you should have focused on Kinko herself. If her wrath can be quelled, then a barrier will no longer be needed. So you're saying that if we use the power of the stars to soothe Kinko's wounded heart, we may convince her to stay her attack? Giving you time to relay your great-grandfather's bloodless bonds, but it will only work if Kinko is weak and the manifestations of her soul's scars cleansed. Right, so we only need to... Wait, won't attacking Kinko and her spiritual minions simply anger her even more? Before something can be healed, it must first be hurt. It is a sound plan, Kyoko. And if it turns out you still require a sacrifice, there will be no sacrificing tonight, tomorrow, or ever. The stars have foretold our victory and will provide us the strength we need to see our enemy overcome. That's what I like to hear. Follow me, then, to Kugane Castle. The spirits are certain to be drawn there. That's a lot of dialogue for what's actually happening. This is probably just quicker to run there at this point. It's very verbose. Yeah, this one and the Black Mage quest have been like the most talkative ones so far. Like unnecessarily so. Alright, I guess we're going to be doing a instance. No, I don't need to talk to you. I meant to click there. Duty calls. Commence battle for Foxfire. Level sync in effect. If you're above maximum allowed level, you'll be synced as follows. Level 70. Proceed. Let's hope this goes well. The very hells have opened. Who will save us? Kind of like a Fenrir. Encanto, we just walked up all the steps for a final showdown at Kugane Castle, and now we have to walk all the way back down to 10. Right, mouth shut. Kinko will seek to draw out our attention away from her by sowing chaos in the streets. Yo, you focus your energies on the fox. Zilly, you make swift work of her angry supplicants. I shall provide you both with support from the rear. Oh, so I get all the ads. We have to save them. Okay, so is my goal to actually attack the ads or to, like, heal the people? I'm not missing any, huh? Yeah, that should be fine. Where did she go? I guess it's pushing me in this direction. Not the markets. supposed to weaken it. Am I supposed to keep them alive too, or is that what she's doing? Never be sure with the healer quest. Sometimes they just want you to DPS, and other times they're like, nah, just focus, like, Asuna everything for 5 minutes. Kill it before it goes off? Okay. Fury again. Favorite last card for monster. Okay, they got it that time too. That's all that matters. Another call out, okay. Wrath and anguish have taken shape. I don't see that anywhere. Okay. I can't target that. Like, it won't let me do anything to it. Unless, oh, it'll let me heal it. Okay. Yeah, it wouldn't let me attack it any. Yeah, he's like really low on health. What the hell are you doing? Can't have him dying on us. I assume, anyways. Oh, all these GCDs. Can't see his health from here. Like, this is where they make, this is where these things are stupid, is that because like I don't have any party list where I can check and see if like they're hit with stuff that I can heal or whatnot. So I have to like stop doing what I'm doing to come check his health. And just put him in like an NPC party list on the side. It's not that difficult. We got this. Damn fox. Oh, really? Is that like 0 health? I'm gonna run out of MP. Aspected benefit, okay. Well, that wasn't too bad. Inko is calm. Now lay the bonds and complete your great-grandfather's ritual. May the rivers of heaven and earth, wind and water, flow together as one. May their currents cleanse this land of its impurities and see it ever guarded. Vengeful spirits. May the wrath that once held rule be carried to the seas, where it be forgotten for eternity. It is done. Together we have saved Kugane, and with it torn down the walls that separated our two schools. This will be a day long remembered, the day a new hope is born. That's very Star Wars. Okay, where are we at now? Oh, where the hell is he now? Oh, he's like literally right in front of me. He just hadn't zoned in yet. Okay. Wow, I need a break. I don't know how to begin to thank you, both of you. Normally I would say that this uncharacteristic display of humility is more than enough thanks, but I still require one thing in return for my assistance, a promise that this is not the end. Of course it's not the end. This is just the beginning, a new beginning for both geomancy and astrology. There is so much to be done. First we'll need to write down all that happened here today, then I'll need to... So this is Kugane, eh? Not bad. Janacard, what in the seventh heaven's name are you doing here? I explicitly stated in my letter that you were not to follow me. Lady Laviva, I am disappointed. You of all people should know, had you wanted me to stay put, you should have rather demanded that I come. Yes, yes, whatever was I thinking? May I say that I am honored to have before me the foremost authorities on astrology. Your display last night taught me there is still much I must learn about my own school. Something I would not have been able to do had I allowed myself to be sacrificed. Yoku, I wanted to apologize. No, they want to apologize. Okay, to apologize. There, I said it. I still despise you and that smirk of yours, but I can see it was mistaken about you being a pretender. You have talent, almost as much as I. You will make a worthy rival. Ah, coming from you, Doku. I'll take that as a compliment. Lady Laviva, under any other circumstances, I would be on a bark headed back to Eorzea this very evening to complete my training as an astrologian. But there is something I must do first. Just as you fought to educate Ishgard of your school, I must do the same here in Kugane with mine. Geomancy unfaithful to the teachings of the masters has poisoned this city for too long. A wise decision, one that was surely not easy for you to make. Take as much time as you need, Kyo. See the ship righted, see truth prevail. The stars will guide you back to us when the hour is right. Don't you worry, Lady Laviva. Give me a few summers and I'll have an entire army of geomancers trained by yours truly lining up at your desk. An entire army of geos? What, is that a problem? Ha ha ha. Level 70, Foxfire complete. Further study of geomancy's secrets provides insight into something I went off the screen too quick. This concludes the Astrologian quest for Final Fantasy XIV Stormblood. In order to undertake the next series of quests, you must first meet the following requirements. Final Fantasy XIV Shadowbringers must be registered at your service account. You must have completed the main scenario quest Shadowbringers. You must have completed the role quest Soul of Temperance. If you have done so, the next Astrologian quest will be available from Janacard.